everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel Engineering Zindabad. I'm Pragati Agrawal and today through code we will understand how classes and objects are created in Python. Okay, so earlier in the previous video of this playlist we understood what classes and objects are. If you haven't seen the previous video, then let me revise. So basically we said that how houses are built. So the architecture behind those houses is the class, and the multiple houses that can be built through that architecture, they are the objects. So they have the existence, right? The real world existence. Similarly, we have book as an example. We took it in the previous video. So if we say a book, then we know that it will be having a title. A particular person might have written, would be the one who has written it. So there will be the author to that book. So that's what basically a template to what book is. But then when we have a real world book, let's suppose I have a book, right? So this is a book that I have. So it has the name Fundamentals of Linux and Shell Programming, and it also has the authors the Bansal sir and Shekhawat sir, right? So what is this? It is an object. So let's code it and understand it. So in Python, to create a class, okay, the architecture, the rule is the syntax, also called as rule of writing, creating a class. So the rule of creating a class is that we have to write the word, the keyword class, and after that we have to write the name. So the name is book, and that's it. After this we have to put colon, and in the next line we will move. Now you can see the moment we pressed enter. Okay, so you might be wondering that where I am writing all of this code. So this is programmist.com. You can just write Python compiler and press enter, and in the first link itself you will get this compiler, and here just erase all of it, and get into this Control A and backspace, and you will be ready to code. If you want to learn with me and also code it, so you can use this compiler if you don't have Python installed on your system. Okay, so let's continue. So we have this class keyword, and after that the name of the class and colon, and on pressing enter you will see that there is this space, okay, before the cursor that we are getting. So this in Python is called as indentation. So in Python we have indentation. In other languages we don't have indentation. In other languages we will be putting these curly brackets, and inside that comes the body of the class. But here we have this colon, and the body will be followed here with this space kept. Okay, now we have created the class, okay, and now we will create the object. For a moment we are not writing the body of the class. Inside this class we are not mentioning what is needed to be mentioned. Reason is that I want to explain you first, because you will get confused if I will not explain you what object is with it. Okay, so the meaning of that body you will not be able to understand. So I am first telling you how to create an object. Okay, so for a meantime we can write pass. So if you don't want to do anything inside a function or a class, okay, and you don't want to encounter any error when running a program, so you can just write this word pass. So here you can see code execution is successful, although we haven't mentioned anything inside the class. But we have mentioned pass, so there is no error. There is no pass keyword, right? If you have left this body blank and then you run it, then you will get an error. Okay, so always write pass if you don't have anything to mention in the body. Now how to create an object from this book? Let's suppose we are creating our first book that has the physical existence inside the system when we run the code. Okay, so we have to write the name of the object. We have written book 1, and after that write equal to and write the name of the class, okay, and these brackets. Now Inside the brackets, what we will be mentioning? We will be mentioning the title and the author that are that the book has. Okay, so we have created the first book. It can have any title, like let's suppose ABCD. Okay, and it has some author called QWERTY. Okay, now inside the book class, through this book class, this object book 1 will be created. So this book class should take this title and this author and create an object book 1 using this title and this author. Till now the object is not created, we have just written the syntax. Okay, so how it will create? So inside the class there is this concept of init method. There is this special method. Now I have written DEF. Okay, so to write methods or functions. So function is basically the action that this object book 1 can perform. Okay, so in the earlier lecture we talked about houses and books. So if we take an example of a robot, had this not been a book and a robot, then the object of a robot would be performing some functions like dancing, sleep. No, a robot will not be sleeping, dancing, walking, okay, or doing some entertainment action. So that action is also known as function. And when we talk about class, so inside the class we call these functions as methods. Now this special function, init, consists of these double underscores in the leading and trailing spaces of it. Okay, so we are saying this is a special function. Why? Because this function gets called on its own. Even if we don't mention this line and we don't define this function, basically DEF means defining. So even if we don't define this function, this will automatically get called once this object will get created, and other functions, the normal functions, let's suppose normal method I write. So this normal method with some parameters will be called, but this init function that I wrote earlier, that will in itself will get called. It is present there. We don't have to write it, but we have to define it in case we have these parameters related to the attributes. Okay, when we have to assign these attributes to this object on our own intentionally, then we have to mention this init function, and inside this init will come these parameters or these values. Now inside, we know that ABCD is the title of the book, so we are writing title. Okay, so this is taking title and the author, and again the colon and the body of the function. What it will do using this title and author, it will assign to this object, right? Now comes the question, how it will assign this title and the author to this object book 1. How this function init knows? It doesn't know. So there is this concept of self. Okay, SELF, I spelled it wrong. Yeah, so now what is this self? This self is basically referring to the address of this book 1 object. Okay, what am I saying? Let me tell you. So here, if you print, I am printing this in order to help you understand what self is. So what I said, it is pointing to this object. Okay, how? Let's verify it. So print, so it will be printing here in the output section. Here we will write self ID of, here we are writing the address or the ID of self. Okay, so how to write it? We have to use the function ID or the method ID, and in bracket we have to write self. So it will give the address where this self is right now pointing to. Okay, so this ID of self will give the address where this self is pointing to right now, okay, the address. Now what we will do, what I said that self is pointing to book 1, so we will print the address of book 1 also. So let me print the address of book 1. So this will be ID of book 1, right? Now let's run this code. Okay, you can see the address of self and the address of book 1 in the output section. Both are same. So yeah, this is what self keyword does. It basically points to book 1 or the object of the class that we are creating, and this tells in the init function that the title and the author that we are getting while creating an object refers to this object. Yes. Now the other thing, so this I am using hash before these lines, these statements, because this is used for commenting. Okay, when we don't want this part to run and show the output, we put hash to comment it. Okay, so we have put hash, that means I have written nothing. Okay, commenting the code means I have written nothing there. Now we will say that the object's title means the book 1's title should be given the title that we have passed while creating an object. We are creating an object here, right? Now while creating a class, the value that is being passed should come, this first value, this title should come inside the object's title. Okay, so we are saying title. So self.title, what is this? This is the title that belongs to book 1 object. Okay, the object that is being created, and this title, this one, is the one that is being passed by the author. Okay, we can also say title of current book. So it's not necessary that I write title, we can write any name to it, because this is the variable that is attached to this object that is getting created. Now self dot author of current book, okay, is equal to author. That's it. So now QWERTY will be given to the author of this book 1 object that we are creating using this class book. Okay, that's it. Now comes the main and the interesting part, that we have the object with its title, right? In this variable we have the title of the book that we have passed, and also we have the author passed. Okay, so now we have the object book 1 using this class that we have created with this title and with this author, right? So we can print it. So we can say print book 1 dot title of current book, and oh yeah, we can see that we have ABCD as the author of book 1 printed on our screen. And similarly we can also print the the title of the book is printed. Now the author of the book 1 we are printing. So what we have written, author of book, author of book. Okay, so we have printed the author and the title of book 1 that we have created. Now we can mention, we can create other object also, new book, using the same class. So we will again write the name of the class, and in brackets the new parameters we will mention the new title. Let's suppose ASDF is the title of the book, and the author of the book is GHJKL, anything GHJKL. Okay, now if we print again the author and the title of this book 2 here, I have copied and pasted these previous statements so that I don't have to write it again. Yeah, So now if we comment out this or let's stay it uncommented and run it. See, you can see that ASD first this line got printed. Okay, one thing more I want to tell you, that the execution of the code will start from here. Code will start when we will click on run. First line, this is the line that will get executed first, then this is the second line, this is the third line, then next lines. Okay, so when we have created an object, this flow will go like this. First this object will get created using this class and parameters will be passed, so the control will come here and then it will get into the init function, and then inside this it will say which object, what is the name of the object, what is the address of that object that we are creating. So this will be passed here in the self, and then the title and the author that the user has passed will come inside these, and finally inside this object's title and object's author we will be putting we are mentioning these, so these are assigned to it, and finally the control will come here after the object will be created, and to the next line we can now print these. So this is the way control is getting. So 7th line will be the first line that will get executed, and now we can see that the book 1's title and author got printed first, okay, and the book 2's title and author got printed next. Finally, so now the code knows that the Python knows that which book's author and title, the author and title refers to the which book, okay, through this class. So yeah, this is more or less the concept of self and init and class and objects. Through code I tried to explain you. If you feel that you haven't understood some of the things or you got confused, then do put it down in the comments below, or if you understood the things, then do like this video and subscribe to my channel to stay updated with the upcoming videos. Remember, our final aim is to create a brilliant app that is solving some real world challenge and become a successful engineer. Yeah, thank you so much.